Tell me why this boy was openly flirting with Jisoo in the back of the car while Jiyoung was driving. I think Mingyu has presented red flag after red flag after red flag, and Jiyoung should be a mile away by now. She's still at the starting line. Like, what are you doing, girl? Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bree with an E, and for today's video, I'm back with yet another heart signal review for episode 10. We're definitely nearing towards the end at this point, and because of that, we're seeing our house guests kind of narrow down, or a lot of their feelings we're seeing being solidified, and people are kind of friend zoning others or kind of closing the door to potential connections with others because they want to focus on the connection they vibe with the most. So I think we actually in fact saw a lot of that this episode, which we will get into with, of course, the main event that we have to talk about being Mingyu and Jiyoung and Jisoo and the awkward date at the amusement park. I have a lot to talk about today. I have a lot to vent about today. So if you're ready, then I'm ready. So let's just get into the video. But first, if this is your first time coming across my channel, your first time watching my video, particularly on this series, since the beginning of Heart Signal, I've been reviewing each episode weekly as they drop. Today we're reviewing episode 10. So there's much you can go back and look at. Also, before we start today's video, I just want to make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. It helps me so much, and it's free. It takes like 2 seconds. And also make sure to check that you are subscribed to my channel. That is also going to help me out a lot, and it also takes only 2 seconds, and it's also very free. With all of that being said, guys, now we can get into the video. Episode 10 was very plainly messy. It was just very messy, but we're going to start off pretty light. We're going to discuss Hushin and Jimin's little meetup together, their little mini date. And honestly, I don't have much to say about their date, but that I just think it's really unfortunate for Jimin. Yet again, she's sort of expressing herself and her feelings for someone when they've kind of already got someone else in their heart, and that person being Jiyoung in both cases. As we know, this entire time, Jimin has been hooked on Jiwon. She finally had her first date with him the past 2 episodes ago, where she finally voiced her feelings for him. But like I said in my previous video, I think it was too little too late. Here again, the same thing is happening with Jimin and Hushin. It feels like he was a little bit reserved, a little bit hesitant to share with her his true feelings about Jiyoung. He said that they had a nice date and that they didn't talk that much. He wasn't being too honest with just how much of an impact that date left on him. And you know what I think it is and why it is? It's because Jimin maybe spent too much time with Mingyu in the very early episodes. She was only hanging out with Mingyu despite her not being attracted to him or feeling most attracted to him. And I understand that Jiwon in the beginning of this journey, in this process, was quite the busy man. He was never really in the house. He was coming back super late, and it made it super hard for her to even get to know him. But instead of pulling Jiwon for a date to express her feelings, which she could have just done in the house anytime they had downtime, she could have pulled Hushin for a date, and maybe they could have grown closer sooner. While especially he took a step back from Jiyoung after that one episode where it was revealed that all of the men pretty much had an interest in her. I just think she had very bad timing, very poor timing, and maybe wasted too much time with Mingyu in the very beginning. But speaking of Mingyu, guys, we've got a lot to discuss about Mingyu this episode. I was feeling some type of way about Mingyu in this episode because what are you doing? What are you doing? And why are you doing it? First of all, before we get into that, we do need to discuss Mingyu and Jiyoung's very cute date. And I know I say that about all of their dates, but literally this is the cutest date of the season. I got butterflies. I usually don't get butterflies watching the dates, but I got a lot of them. I felt a lot of things watching their date. At times in their date, they were so touchy with each other and so like in each other's faces, especially when they were watching a movie together and sharing a blanket together. They were getting super close, and it was like making me uncomfortable in a good way. To me, after watching their date, it definitely felt like Mingyu had somehow accepted Jiyoung's feelings. She had just poured her heart out to him again, expressing herself, expressing how much she enjoyed their date, how much she felt that they had such a strong connection after their date, and Mingyu kind of expressed the same. He felt the same way. This is where I start to get upset with Mingyu. Jisoo and Jiwon come back. They see Mingyu and Jiyoung coupled up on the couch together, cozied up, sharing a blanket. Jisoo is very visibly upset. Jiwon is very visibly upset. And so then you catch Mingyu kind of pulling away from Jiyoung, feeling guilty in a way and concerned about Yisu, which is respectable if you like two people at the same time. Of course, you don't want to appear too comfortable with the other girl in front of the other girl. But my only thing with Mingyu is he has a history, a record, a poor record of being hot and cold with Jiyoung, and it's quite annoying and frustrating to continue to see it happen. It is starting to feel and get very, very disrespectful, because the next day when they went to the amusement park, and it just so happened to be Mingyu, Yisu, Jiyoung, and Hushin, they all crowded into a car together. Mingyu and Yisu were in the back, and Hushin and Jiyoung were in the front, and Jiyoung was driving. Tell me why this boy was openly flirting with Yisu in the back of the car while Jiyoung was driving. The girl you just had this very cute romantic date with, cuddled up with on the couch, feeding each other, sharing a blanket. Like, what do you mean, Mingyu? And then Yisu also made me feel some type of way with her comment that she made after Jiyoung came to a hard stop. Coming to a hard stop does not mean you're a bad driver. You just had a bad moment, okay? Things happen. Unforeseeable things happen on the road all the time. I would know. But tell me why after Jiyoung, joke or not, it just wasn't funny to me. After Jiyoung comes to a hard stop on the road, Yisu whispers in Mingyu's ear, aren't I a better driver than her? And then Mingyu says yes? Like, what are we doing? This is so disrespectful and rude. But she's not the one I have a problem with. I have a problem with Mingyu, the guy who just the other night was all up on her, feeding her chips, sharing a blanket with her, being all cutesy and cozy with her, and then being cold with her the next day, not really talking to her, only talking to Yisu, flirting with Yisu in the back. It was just such in poor taste, I feel. And you can tell Jiyoung just felt kind of blindsided by it all and very clearly, visibly upset. There was no sort of conversation between the time from their romantic date the other night to the amusement park kind of double date. It just felt like Mingyu had flipped the switch, like he does as always. They have a great date, and then he just kind of abandons her. So I just want to say I'm very upset with Mingyu, not because he's pursuing multiple connections in the house, but how he's doing it. What are you doing, Mingyu? Honestly, you're going about this in such the wrong way. And again, for all my Mingyu lovers out there, I personally was. He's getting on my nerves at the moment. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think Mingyu is a bad person. I just think he's making very questionable and poor decisions. While I fully understand, you have to be kind of selfish at some point to really go after your own feelings and explore the connection you feel most drawn to, you shouldn't do it this way. You shouldn't be hot and cold. You shouldn't be so hot with one girl one night and then so cold with her the next and hot with another girl. It just doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Jiyoung, she just gotta counter losses and move on. I think Mingyu has presented red flag after red flag after red flag, and Jiyoung should be a mile away by now. She's still at the starting line. Like, what are you doing, girl? But also in this episode, my girl Jumi finally got friend-zoned by Gyeorae. Gyeorae and Jumi took the time this episode to go on another kind of mini date together. They grabbed dinner and grabbed some drinks, all the while kind of talk their stance with one another, their relationship, and the potential for one. In this episode, she finally half voiced her feelings for him, even though Gyeorae had already picked up on those feelings, and unfortunately the feelings just were not reciprocated. And no fault to him, you can't help how you feel in the house. It is what it is. So I'm glad they just had the opportunity, especially Jumi just had the opportunity to voice her feelings for Gyeorae, get it off her chest, and I'm glad that she felt so much better about it after the date. While it feels like it may be too late for Jumi, I still am hopeful that my girl will find love at the end of this. There are a few more episodes left, and anything can happen between Gyeorae and Jumi as well. He could unexpectedly have a shift in feelings. That's a little delusional of me to say, but when it comes to Jumi, I'll be delusional times 10. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up all that I wanted to discuss this episode. My main gripe with this episode being Mingyu's dusty self. Get your act together, clean it up, pick your woman, okay? And move towards her and only her. But I'm excited that we're getting towards the end of the series. We're nearing the end, guys, so hold on tight. I'm ready to see the final couples, the final matches. Got some good connections forming in the house, so I'm just just excited to see how it all ends. But yeah, thank you so much guys for watching to the very end. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss another upload. And yeah, I've got some fun videos coming out very soon. I've been planning to talk about The Summer I Turned Pretty. I just finished my first review on The Summer I Turned Pretty, so if you want to go check that out, if you don't know what The Summer I Turned Pretty is, watch the video anyways. And also I talked to you guys in my community tab about talking about the new Korean dating series on Netflix called 19 to 20. If you haven't been watching that, make sure to start watching it so I can start talking about it with you guys. The show is such a vibe. I'm almost caught up, so I'm gonna start talking about it very soon, so you don't want to miss out on that either. But I'm not gonna hold you any longer. Thank you so much for watching, like I said, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.